The shock collar buzzes. The dog screams. Rain hammers the cracked asphalt of the Rusty Creek municipal impound lot, turning dust into black sludge that clings to boots and tires. A crowd of maybe 30 people huddles under a rusted aluminum awning, shoulder to shoulder, smelling of wet denim and cheap cigarettes. They're not here for the dented patrol cars or the chain-link fence panels stacked like dominoes against the storage shed. They're here for Lot 42. The sign is hand-painted on warped plywood, zip-tied to a concrete bollard. Red letters bleed in the rain. Aggressive, unfit for duty, as is. Starting bid, $1. Chained to that bollard is a Belgian Malinois. His name doesn't matter to the crowd. To them, he's just a number, but his ribs press through his coat like fingers clawing from the inside. His muzzle is leather, buckled so tight the edges cut into the fur above his jaw, leaving raw pink lines. His eyes are amber, wild, whites showing in crescent moons. When he shifts his weight, the chain drags across the concrete with a metallic scrape that makes people step back. A woman in a stained mechanic's jumpsuit elbows her husband. "That thing looks rabid." Her husband nods. "Probably why it's $1. But if you looked closer, if you ignored the snarling and the thrashing, you'd see something else. The way the dog's ears pin flat when footsteps approach. The way his body curls inward, not forward. The way he doesn't lunge at the crowd. He pulls away from it. Are you watching closely? Because what you think you see isn't always the truth. And in Rusty Creek, truth has a price tag. The auctioneer, a bald man with a clipboard and a voice like gravel in a blender, steps onto a wooden crate. He taps the microphone clip to his collar. Feedback squeals. The crowd winces. "All right, folks, let's get this done quick. Lot 42, K9 unit washout. No refunds, no liability. If it bites you, that's on you." He doesn't even look at the dog. "We start at $1. Do I hear $1? Silence. The rain fills the gap, drumming on metal roofs and plastic tarps. Someone coughs. A truck engine idles in the distance. Then a man steps forward. He's tall, broad-shouldered, wearing a police uniform that's too clean for a Saturday morning auction. His badge catches the gray light. Sergeant Silas Vance. He holds a small black remote in his left hand, thumb resting on a button like a man holding a detonator. "Let me save y'all some time," Vance says, loud enough to carry over the rain. He doesn't use the microphone. He doesn't need to. This animal is dangerous. He turned on his handler. Good man named Officer Kalin died 3 months back during a raid. This mutt was supposed to have his back. Instead, he cowered, hid under a car while bullets flew. Then when Kalin went down, this beast went berserk, bit 2 officers trying to secure the scene. Vance walks closer to the dog. The Malinois growls, low and steady, a sound like tires on gravel. Vance smirks. He presses the button. The dog convulses. His legs buckle. A high-pitched yelp rips from his throat, muffled by the muzzle. The crowd gasps. Someone mutters a curse. Vance releases the button. The dog collapses onto his side, panting, tongue lolling between the muzzle's gaps. "See?" Vance says, shrugging. "Broken brain, dangerous reflexes. Honestly, we should have put him down already, but protocol says we gotta auction him first. So if any of you got a death wish or need a junkyard guard that'll probably eat your kids, here's your chance." A few people laugh nervously. Most just stare. The dog doesn't get up. He lies there, sides heaving, staring at nothing, but then his gaze shifts. Slowly, deliberately. He looks past Vance, past the auctioneer, past the crowd. His amber eyes lock onto something at the back of the lot. A figure, small, still. The auctioneer raises his hand. "All right, $1. Do I hear $1? The voice comes from the edge of the crowd. It's rough, gravelly, soaked in cigarette smoke and bad intentions. A man in a grease-stained jumpsuit pushes to the front. He's got rotting teeth and a scar that runs from his left ear to his collarbone. People know him. Darnell the Jaw Pritchett. He runs a garage on the east side. Rumors say he runs something else in the basement. Vance glances at Darnell. Their eyes meet. Vance nods, just once, barely a tilt of the chin. Darnell grins. The auctioneer raises his gavel. $1 to the gentleman in the dickies, going once. Wait. The word is small, thin. It cracks like dry wood. The crowd turns. At the back, standing in the rain, without an umbrella, is a boy. He's maybe 10 years old, drowning in a hoodie 2 sizes too big. The fabric clings to his shoulders, heavy with water. His sneakers are split at the toes, duct tape holding the soles together. His face is all angles, sharp cheekbones, a jaw too defined for a kid his age, eyes that have seen too much and believed too little. His name is Trayvon Elijah Walker, and he's holding a crumpled dollar bill. Vance's jaw tightens. Kid, get lost. This ain't a petting zoo. Trayvon doesn't move. He steps forward, water streaming off his hood. The crowd parts without thinking, creating a path. His eyes never leave the dog. I got $1 too, Trayvon says. His voice shakes, but he doesn't stop walking. That means I can bid. Darnell laughs, a wet, phlegmy sound. Boy, you don't want this dog. This thing'll rip your throat out before you get it home. Trayvon stops at the yellow caution tape stretched across the ground. The dog is 10 feet away. Up close, Trayvon can see the scars. Not just from the muzzle, old ones. Burn marks on the haunches. A notch missing from the left ear. This dog has been hurt. A lot. And recently. Trayvon looks at Vance. Why's he got a shock collar if he's already muzzled and chained? The question hangs in the air. The crowd shifts. Even the auctioneer pauses. Vance's face goes red. That's none of your business, boy. Now turn around and go back to whatever foster hole you crawled out of before I arrest you for trespassing. Trayvon doesn't flinch. He crouches down, still outside the tape, and he looks at the dog. Really looks. The Malinois is shaking, not from aggression, from exhaustion, from fear. His amber eyes meet Trayvon's brown ones, and for 3 seconds, neither of them moves. Trayvon sees it, the thing no one else bothered to look for. This dog isn't angry. He's terrified, and Trayvon knows what that looks like. He's seen it in the mirror every morning since his grandmother died. Vance steps between them, blocking Trayvon's view. He leans down, voice dropping to a hiss only Trayvon can hear. You got 10 seconds to walk away, kid, or I'm gonna make sure you end up in juvie for interfering with a municipal sale. 10, 9, 8. Trayvon reaches into his other pocket. His fingers are numb from the rain, but he finds it. A silver coin, a Susan B. Anthony dollar. His grandmother gave it to him the week before she passed. Told him to spend it on something that mattered. He holds it up. I got $2. The rain pounds harder. Vance's hand moves to his belt, not to his cuffs, to his baton. The crowd sees it. Darnell sees it. The dog sees it. And that's when the chain snaps. What do you think just happened? Drop your guess in the comments before Chapter 2 drops. The metal link doesn't break clean. It fractures with a sound like a gunshot, sharp and final, echoing off the corrugated shed walls. The dog doesn't bark, doesn't howl, he just moves. Vance's baton is halfway out of its holster when the Malinois launches, not at the crowd, not at Trayvon, straight at Vance. The sergeant's eyes go wide. He stumbles backward, tripping over his own boots, and the baton clatters to the pavement. The dog lands 3 feet from him, muzzle still strapped, but his body coiled like a loaded spring. A growl rolls out of his chest, deeper than thunder, vibrating through the concrete. The crowd scatters. Someone screams. A woman yanks her kid behind a pickup truck. Darnell backs up so fast, he slips in the mud and lands on his tailbone, swearing. The auctioneer drops his clipboard and sprints for the shed, but the dog doesn't attack. He stands there, hackles raised, every muscle locked, staring Vance down like he's deciding whether to end him or just make him remember this moment forever. Vance scrambles backward on his hands, boots skidding in the rain, and for the first time in his career, Sergeant Silas Vance looks small. "Shoot it," Vance screams, voice cracking. "Somebody shoot it." A rookie cop in the crowd fumbles for his sidearm. His hands shake. He's maybe 22, fresh out of the academy, and he's aiming at a dog that's not moving, not lunging, not doing anything except standing between a boy and a man with a weapon. Trayvon doesn't think. He just moves. He ducks under the caution tape and steps into the danger zone. The crowd shouts warnings. Someone yells for him to get back. But Trayvon walks straight toward the dog, hands out, palms open. "Don't," he says, not to the dog, to the rookie. "Don't shoot him." The Malinois swings his head toward Trayvon. Those amber eyes lock on again. The growling stops. The dog's ears twitch forward just slightly, like he's listening for something he hasn't heard in a long time. Trayvon takes another step, then another. He's close enough now to see the dried blood caked in the muzzle's edges, close enough to smell the mix of wet fur and fear and something sharper, infection maybe, from a wound no one bothered to clean. "Easy," Trayvon whispers. "I'm not gonna hurt you." The dog tilts his head. It's subtle, almost confused, like he's trying to remember what kindness sounds like. Trayvon reaches out, slow, fingers trembling. He touches the dog's head, just the top, between the ears. The fur is coarse, matted, cold from the rain. The Malinois flinches, but he doesn't pull away. He leans in, just a fraction, just enough. Then Vance moves. He's back on his feet, baton in hand, and he's lunging forward, arm raised, ready to bring it down on the dog's skull. "I said shoot." The dog spins. Faster than Trayvon can blink, faster than Vance can swing. The Malinois doesn't bite. He doesn't have to. He plants himself between Trayvon and Vance, body low, weight balanced, and the baton stops mid-arc. Vance freezes. The dog's lips peel back behind the muzzle, showing teeth that are yellow and cracked but still sharp enough to make a point. The rookie's gun is still out. His finger hovers over the trigger. The rain streams down his face. He's sweating despite the cold. "Sergeant, I don't have a clean shot. The kid's too close." Vance's chest heaves. His face is purple. Spit flies when he talks. "Then move the kid." "Don't touch him." The voice cuts through the chaos like a blade. It's not loud, but it's firm, commanding, the kind of voice that's used to being obeyed. The crowd turns. An older man steps out from behind a parked cruiser. He's maybe 65, gray-haired, with a limp that favors his left leg. He's wearing jeans and a flannel shirt, no badge, no uniform, but everyone knows him. Captain Roderick "Rod" Mabry, retired, 28 years on the force. Half the cops in this lot trained under him. Mabry walks through the crowd like he owns the place. He doesn't hurry, doesn't shout. He just walks up to the rookie and gently pushes the gun down until it's aimed at the ground. "Lower your weapon, son." The rookie hesitates, glancing at Vance. Vance glares. "Captain, that animal is a threat. It broke its restraint. It defended a child," Mabry interrupts. His voice is calm, almost bored. "From an adult with a weapon. That's not aggression, Vance. That's training." He looks at the dog, squinting through the rain. The Malinois hasn't moved. He's still in position, body between Trayvon and Vance, head low, watching everyone at once. Mabry nods slowly. "I know that stance. That's a civilian shield maneuver, advanced K9 tactical response. A dog doesn't learn that by accident, and a dog that turns on its handler doesn't execute it." Vance's jaw clenches so hard, Trayvon can hear his teeth grind. "You don't know what you're talking about, old man. This dog is defective. It's terrified," Mabry says flatly. He walks closer, ignoring Vance, and crouches down a few feet from the dog. He doesn't reach out, doesn't make sudden moves. He just looks. "I've handled canines for 15 years, Vance. I've seen aggressive dogs. This isn't it. This is a dog that's been abused." He points to the shock collar. "Why's he wearing that?" "Standard restraint protocol for..." "Bull. Shock collars are for training, not punishment. And this one's commercial grade, not department issue. You brought that from home. Mabry stands, knees popping, and he looks Vance dead in the eye. What'd you do to this dog, Silas? The crowd goes quiet. Even the rain seems to soften, like the world is leaning in to hear the answer. Vance's mouth opens, closes, opens again. I didn't do anything. The dog went rogue after Kaylin died. It's in the report. It bit 2 officers. I read the report, Mabry says. Funny thing about that, the report says the dog attacked during the chaos after the raid, but it doesn't mention witness statements, doesn't mention body cam footage, doesn't mention why a K9 unit's dash cam was conveniently corrupted. He tilts his head. You wrote that report, didn't you? Vance takes a step back. His hand moves to his hip, fingers brushing his radio. This is none of your business, Captain. You're retired. You don't have authority here. No, Mabry agrees, but I got a phone, and I got contacts at Internal Affairs, and if this boy ends up with that dog, I'm gonna make it my business to figure out what really happened the night Officer Kaylin died. He looks at Trayvon, then at the dog. Where's the tag? Trayvon blinks. The tag? Every K9 unit has a service tag, stamped metal, usually on the collar. Mabry gestures. Check under the shock collar. Trayvon looks at the dog. The Malinois is still in guard position, but his eyes flick to Trayvon, then back to Vance. Trayvon reaches out again, slower this time, and he slides his fingers under the shock collar's band. The dog tenses but doesn't pull away. Trayvon feels something cold, metal. He pulls it out. A small rectangular tag, edges worn smooth. There's an engraving. He wipes the mud off with his thumb. K9 Unit 117, he reads aloud. Then he flips it over. Scratched into the back, barely legible, is a single word, Titan. The name hits the air like a slap. Vance's face drains of color. Darnell, still sitting in the mud, mutters something under his breath and gets up, backing toward his truck. The rookie holsters his gun without being told. Mabry's eyes narrow. Titan, Mabry repeats slowly. He looks at Vance. That's Kaylin's dog, the one that was with him for 4 years. The one that had a perfect record. 12 narcotics busts, 3 officer rescues, certified in tactical assault and suspect apprehension. He pauses. That Titan? Vance says nothing. His jaw works, but no sound comes out. Mabry steps closer, and his voice drops to something dangerous. You tried to sell Kaylin's partner for $1. Why? The rain picks up again, hammering the lot. Trayvon stands there, one hand on Titan's head, the other clutching the tag. The dog leans into him just slightly, like he's finally found something solid to hold on to. And for the first time since the auction started, Titan's body relaxes, just a little, just enough. But Vance isn't done. His hand moves fast, snatching the shock collar remote from his belt. His thumb slams down on the button. The collar buzzes. Titan yelps, legs buckling, and Trayvon drops to his knees, wrapping his arms around the dog's neck, trying to hold him steady. Stop it! Stop! Mabry lunges forward and rips the remote out of Vance's hand, throwing it into a puddle where it sparks and dies. He grabs Vance by the collar, yanking him close. You just assaulted a minor and tortured an animal in front of 30 witnesses. You're done. Vance shoves him off, stumbling backward. His voice cracks, desperate now. You don't understand. That dog knows. He was there. He stops himself, eyes darting to the crowd, realizing he's said too much. Mabry's expression doesn't change, but his voice gets quieter, colder. Knows what, Silas? Vance doesn't answer. He turns and walks toward his cruiser, boots splashing through the puddles. The crowd watches him go. No one stops him. No one speaks. The auctioneer is long gone. Darnell's truck engine roars to life, and he peels out of the lot, mud spraying. Mabry turns to Trayvon. The boy is still on the ground, arms around Titan, face buried in the dog's wet fur. Titan's breathing is ragged, but he's not pulling away. He's just there, like he's been waiting for someone to hold on to him for a very long time. Kid, Mabry says gently, what's your name? Trayvon looks up. His eyes are red, but no tears fall. Trayvon, you got a place to keep a dog, Trayvon? Trayvon hesitates. I'm in foster care. I don't think... You do now, Mabry interrupts. He pulls out his wallet, peels off a 20, and hands it to the auctioneer's assistant, who's peeking out from behind the shed. Consider this a sale. The dog goes with the boy. No paperwork, no questions. He looks down at Titan, then at Trayvon. This dog just saved your life, son. Least you can do is give him a chance. Trayvon nods, swallowing hard. He fumbles with the muzzle's buckle, fingers clumsy in the rain. It takes 3 tries, but he gets it loose. The leather falls away. Titan shakes his head, jaw working, and for the first time he breathes deep. No muzzle, no shock, just air. He looks at Trayvon, and Trayvon looks back. 2 broken things, soaked to the bone, standing in a junkyard in the rain. And for just a second, neither of them feels alone. Mabry watches them, then glances toward the spot where Titan was chained. Something catches his eye. The concrete around the bollard is torn up, scratched and gouged like something was digging. He walks over, crouches down, and sees it. A small hole, partially filled with rainwater, and at the bottom, barely visible, is the edge of something metal, buried. Mabry frowns. He reaches in and pulls it out. A muddy canister, waterproof, military grade. He turns it over in his hands, then looks back at Titan. The dog is watching him, ears forward, alert, like he's been waiting for someone to find it. What have you been hiding, boy? Mabry mutters. He pops the canister open. Inside is a small drive sealed in plastic. He holds it up to the light. There's a label, handwritten, smudged but legible. Kalen, backup, raid night. Mabry's blood runs cold. He looks at Vance's cruiser, taillights disappearing into the rain. Then he looks at Trayvon and Titan. Kid, he says slowly, we need to talk. Titan wasn't just protecting Trayvon, he was protecting the truth. What's on that drive? Comment your theory below. Trayvon's foster house sits at the end of Maple Street, a sagging 2-story with peeling paint and a chain-link fence held together by rust and prayer. The porch light flickers like it's trying to decide whether to give up. Trayvon stands at the gate, one hand on Titan's collar, no leash, just his fingers hooked through the loop, and he stares at the front door like it's a wall he's not sure he can climb. Titan sits, doesn't pull, doesn't whine, just sits there, wet and silent, watching Trayvon's face. The rain stopped 20 minutes ago, but both of them are still soaked. Water drips from Trayvon's hood. Titan's fur clings to his ribs, making him look even thinner than he is. They've been standing here for 5 minutes, maybe longer. Time moves weird when you're scared. A woman appears in the window, mid-40s, hair pulled back in a bun so tight it looks painful. She's holding a dish towel, staring out at the boy and the dog. Her name is Miss Claudine Mathis, and she runs the foster home like a military barracks. Clean floors, quiet voices, no pets, especially no dogs. She opens the door, doesn't step outside, just stands there in the frame, backlit by the yellow glow of the hallway. Trayvon Elijah Walker, where have you been? Trayvon's throat tightens. I went to the impound lot. Claudine's eyes drop to Titan. Her lips press into a thin line. And what is that? A dog? I can see it's a dog. What's it doing with you? Trayvon swallows. His voice comes out smaller than he wants. I bought him for $2. Claudine steps onto the porch. Her slippers slap against the wood. She crosses her arms, and Trayvon can feel the lecture coming before she even opens her mouth. You know the rules. No animals. This house has 3 other kids, and I'm not running a zoo. You take that thing back where you found it. I can't. Trayvon's voice cracks. They were gonna kill him. That's not your problem. He's mine now. Claudine's jaw tightens. She looks at the dog again, really looks, and for a second something shifts in her expression. Titan doesn't growl, doesn't bark. He just sits there, ears back, body low, like he's trying to make himself as small as possible. like he's apologizing for existing. Claudine knows that look. She's seen it on every kid who's walked through her door, the look of someone who's learned that the world doesn't want them. She sighs, long, heavy, the kind of sigh that carries years. One night, that's it. Tomorrow, we figure out what to do with him, and if he tears up my couch or pees on my carpet, he's gone, understood? Trayvon nods so fast his hood slips off. Yes, ma'am, thank you. I'll keep him in my room. He won't bother nobody. Claudine steps aside. Trayvon walks through the gate, Titan at his side, and they climb the porch steps together. The other foster kids are watching from the living room window. 2 boys and a girl, all younger than Trayvon, faces pressed against the glass. Titan glances at them but doesn't react, just follows Trayvon inside, paws silent on the linoleum. Trayvon leads him upstairs to the smallest bedroom at the end of the hall, a twin bed with a thin blanket, a dresser with 3 drawers, 2 of them broken, a window that doesn't close all the way, letting in a draft that smells like wet leaves. Trayvon shuts the door and locks it. Then he just stands there staring at Titan, and Titan stares back. You hungry? Trayvon whispers. Titan's ears perk up, just slightly. Trayvon digs into his backpack and pulls out the only food he has, a sleeve of saltine crackers and half a peanut butter sandwich from lunch 2 days ago. He unwraps the sandwich, sets it on the floor. Titan doesn't lunge. He steps forward slowly, sniffs it, then eats in careful bites, like he's scared it'll disappear if he moves too fast. Trayvon sits on the edge of the bed watching. His hands are shaking, not from cold, from everything. The auction, the chain breaking, Vance, the shock collar, the way Titan stood between him and a man twice his size without hesitation. No one's ever done that for him, not since his grandmother, and she's gone. He reaches out, slow, and rests his hand on Titan's back. The dog finishes the sandwich, licks the floor where the crumbs were, then turns his head to look at Trayvon. For a long moment, neither of them moves. Then Titan steps closer and lays his head on Trayvon's knee. The weight is warm, solid, real. Trayvon's chest tightens, his throat burns. He bites his lip hard enough to taste copper, but the tears come anyway. He wraps both arms around Titan's neck and presses his face into the damp fur. He doesn't make a sound, just shakes. And Titan doesn't pull away, he just sits there, letting the boy hold on. A knock at the door. Trayvon jerks back, wiping his face. Fast. Yeah? The door cracks open. One of the younger boys, maybe 7, peeks in. His name is Malik, and he's got a gap-toothed grin and a dinosaur t-shirt. Is he mean? Trayvon shakes his head. No, he's just tired. Malik steps inside, eyes wide. Can I pet him? Trayvon hesitates, looks at Titan. The dog's ears swivel toward the kid, but he doesn't tense, doesn't growl. He just watches, head tilted like he's trying to figure out if this tiny human is a threat. Trayvon nods. Yeah, but slow, okay? Malik tiptoes over, hand out, fingers trembling. He touches Titan's head, just the top, and giggles when the fur is softer than he expected. He's nice. Yeah, Trayvon says quietly. He is. Malik grins and runs back out, leaving the door open. Trayvon gets up to close it, but before he does, he hears voices downstairs. Adults. One of them is Claudine. The other is deeper, unfamiliar. Trayvon freezes, one hand on the doorknob, listening. Can't just show up here without calling first, Claudine is saying. I apologize, ma'am, the man replies, but this is important. I need to speak to Trayvon Walker. Trayvon's stomach drops. He knows that voice. Captain Mabry. He closes the door quietly and turns to Titan. The dog is already on his feet, ears forward, body tense. He knows something's wrong. Trayvon crouches down, gripping Titan's collar. It's okay, just stay quiet, please. Footsteps on the stairs, heavy, steady. They stop outside Trayvon's door. A knock. Trayvon, it's Captain Mabry. Can I come in? Trayvon glances at Titan, then at the door. He doesn't have a choice. Yeah. The door opens. Mabry steps inside, ducking slightly under the low frame. He's still wearing the flannel shirt from earlier, but now he's got a laptop bag slung over his shoulder. He looks at Titan first, nods like he's confirming something, then looks at Trayvon. "You settling in okay?" Trayvon nods. "Yes, sir." Mabry closes the door behind him. He pulls the desk chair over and sits, setting the laptop bag on the floor. He's quiet for a moment, just studying the boy and the dog. Then he leans forward, elbows on his knees. "I need to show you something, Trayvon, and after I do, I need you to tell me the truth. Can you do that?" Trayvon's heart pounds. What is it?" Mabry opens the bag and pulls out a laptop. Old. Government issue. He powers it on, waiting for it to boot. The fan whirs loud enough to hear. He plugs in the drive, the one from the canister, and opens a folder. Inside is a single video file. The timestamp reads 3 months ago, the night Officer Kalin died. Mabry turns the screen toward Trayvon. "This is dash cam footage from Kalin's patrol car. The official report says this footage was corrupted, but Titan buried a backup. Smart dog." He glances at Titan, who's watching the screen like he recognizes it. "I watched it. You need to see it too, because what's on here changes everything." Trayvon stares at the screen. His mouth is dry. "Why do I need to see it?" "Because Vance is going to come after you," Mabry says bluntly. "He's going to try to take Titan back, and when he does, this footage is the only thing that'll stop him." He clicks play. The video starts. Darkness, then headlights. A narrow alley. Voices over the radio. Dispatch calling in a suspected drug deal. 2 officers exit the vehicle. One is tall, black, early 30s. That's Kalin. The other is Vance. Titan is on a leash, heeling perfectly beside Kalin. They approach a warehouse door. Kalin signals. Vance kicks it open. Gunfire. Immediate, loud. The camera shakes. Kalin dives behind a crate. Titan right beside him. Vance is yelling something, but the words are drowned out by the shots. Then the camera angle shifts. It's helmet mounted, Trayvon realizes. Kalin's perspective. He's looking at Vance, and Vance isn't shooting at the suspects. He's not even aiming inside the warehouse. He's aiming at the door, blocking it, trapping Kalin inside. Kalin shouts something. The camera swings back toward the suspects. 3 men, all armed. Kalin returns fire. Titan barks, straining at the leash. Then one of the suspects raises a shotgun. Kalin sees it. He tries to move. Too slow. The blast hits him center mass. He goes down. The camera tilts, showing the ceiling. Blood pools at the edges of the frame. Titan is screaming, not barking. Screaming! A sound dog shouldn't be able to make. He lunges at the suspects, leash snapping, and 2 of them go down under his weight, teeth snarling. Then Vance's voice, loud and clear, "Stand down, stand down!" The camera barely moves, but you can hear it. Titan yelping, the sound of a shock collar buzzing, Vance dragging Titan away from Kalin's body, and then Vance's face fills the frame. He's looking directly at the helmet cam. He reaches down and the screen goes black, but the audio keeps running. Vance's voice, low and cold. "Stay down, mutt. He's already gone. And if you ever tell anyone what happened here, I'll bury you next to him." The video ends. The room is silent. Trayvon's hands are clenched so tight, his knuckles are white. Titan is shaking, ears pinned flat, staring at the screen like he's reliving it. Mabry closes the laptop. "Vance let Kalin die," Mabry says quietly. "He blocked the exit, let the suspects pin him down. Then he covered it up, blamed Titan, called him aggressive, unfit, sold him for $1 to make him disappear." He looks at Trayvon. "But you saved him, and now he's the only witness left." Trayvon's voice is barely a whisper. "What do we do?" Mabry pulls out his phone. "We take this to Internal Affairs, tonight. But first, I need you to answer one question." He leans in, eyes locked on Trayvon's. "Are you ready to stand up and tell them what you saw today? Because the second we turn this footage in, Vance is going to fight back, and he's going to come after you. Both of you." Trayvon looks at Titan. The dog meets his gaze, amber eyes steady despite the trembling. Trayvon thinks about the auction, the chain breaking, the way Titan stood between him and Vance without hesitation, the way no one else did, the way no one ever has. He nods. Yeah, I'm ready. Mabry's jaw tightens, but there's something like respect in his eyes. He stands, picking up the laptop. Good, get some rest. Tomorrow's going to be a long day. He pauses at the door. And Trayvon, keep that dog close. He's not just your friend now, he's your best chance at staying alive. The door closes. Trayvon sits on the bed, Titan pressed against his legs. Outside, a car engine starts. Headlights sweep across the window, and somewhere in the distance a phone rings. Vance knows they have the footage. What will he do next? Drop your prediction below. The precinct smells like burnt coffee and old paper. Trayvon sits in a plastic chair in the hallway outside interview room 3. Titan at his feet, head resting on his sneakers. Captain Mabry is inside with 2 detectives from Internal Affairs, running the footage for the 3rd time. Trayvon can hear the muffled voices through the door. One of them is angry. The other sounds tired. They've been in there for 40 minutes. Trayvon's leg bounces. He can't stop it. Every time footsteps echo down the hall, his heart jumps. Every time a door opens, he thinks it's Vance. Titan's ears swivel with each sound, but he doesn't move, just stays pressed against Trayvon's shins, warm and solid. A woman walks past carrying a stack of files. She glances at Titan, frowns, but doesn't say anything. A uniformed cop stops at the water cooler, fills a paper cup, stares at the boy and the dog for a long moment, then walks away. No one talks to Trayvon. No one asks if he's okay. He's used to it. Being invisible is safer than being seen. The door to interview room 3 opens. Mabry steps out, face grim. Behind him is a black woman in a gray pantsuit, maybe 50, with silver streaks in her hair and eyes that look like they've seen every lie in the book. Detective Shanice Lenoir, she's head of Internal Affairs, and she doesn't waste time. Trayvon Walker, she says, voice clipped and efficient. Trayvon stands. Yes, ma'am. She looks at Titan. That the dog? Yes, ma'am. Lenoir crouches down, not close enough to touch, just enough to see. Titan watches her but doesn't react. She nods slowly. He's got good discipline. Most dogs would have bolted by now. She stands, brushing off her knees. We've reviewed the footage. It's admissible. We're opening a full investigation into Sergeant Vance's conduct during the raid. She pauses, measuring Trayvon with a look. But I need your statement. Everything you saw at the auction. Everything Vance said and did. Can you do that? Trayvon nods. Yes, ma'am. Good. Follow me. She leads him into the interview room. It's small, bare walls, a metal table bolted to the floor, 2 chairs on each side, a camera in the corner with a blinking red light. Mabry takes a seat next to Trayvon. Titan settles under the table, chin resting on Trayvon's foot. Lenoir sits across from them, opens a file, clicks a pen. This is a recorded statement, she says, voice formal now. Today is November 16th, 2024. I am Detective Shanice Lenoir, Internal Affairs Division. Present are Captain Roderick Mabry, retired, and Trayvon Elijah Walker, minor, age 10. Also present is K9 Unit 017, designation Titan. She looks at Trayvon. Trayvon, do you understand why you're here? Yes, ma'am. Tell me what happened at the impound lot. Start from the beginning. Trayvon swallows. His throat is dry. He starts talking, slowly at first, then faster. He tells her about the rain, the crowd, the sign that said aggressive, unfit for duty, the way Titan was chained and muzzled, the way Vance used the shock collar, the way the crowd laughed. He tells her about Darnell Pritchett, the man with the rotting teeth who wanted the dog for fights. He tells her about the dollar bill, the way Vance threatened him, the way the chains snapped, the way Titan didn't attack. The way he stood between Trayvon and Vance like a wall made of fur and bone. Lenoir writes everything down. She doesn't interrupt. When Trayvon finishes, she looks at Mabry. You witnessed all of this? Most of it, Mabry says. I arrived midway through the auction, saw Vance use the shock collar, saw the dog execute a civilian shield maneuver, saw Vance attempt to strike the miner with a baton, saw the buried canister. He taps the table. Vance knew exactly what he was doing. He was trying to disappear the evidence, and when that didn't work, he tried to disappear the witness. Lenoir's jaw tightens. She closes the file. We're issuing a warrant for Vance's arrest, obstruction of justice, evidence tampering, assault on a minor, animal cruelty. She looks at Trayvon. But you need to understand something. Vance has been on this force for 12 years. He's got friends, people who'll protect him. This is going to get ugly. I don't care, Trayvon says quietly. He killed Officer Kalin. He tried to kill Titan. His voice cracks. He stops, swallows, tries again. He can't get away with it. Lenoir's expression softens, just a fraction. No, he can't. She stands. You're free to go. We'll contact you if we need anything else. Captain Mabry, a word? Mabry nods. He looks at Trayvon. Wait outside. I'll be right there. Trayvon walks out with Titan, back into the hallway. The plastic chair is still warm. He sits. Titan sits. They wait. Minutes stretch. Then the door opens again. Mabry steps out with Lenoir. She's holding a phone to her ear, face tight. She listens, says something low, hangs up, looks at Mabry. He's gone, she says. Mabry's face hardens. What do you mean gone? Vance didn't report for duty this morning. His cruiser's missing. His wife says he left last night and didn't come back. We've got units checking his known associates, but... She stops. Her eyes flick to Trayvon, then to Titan. If he knows about the footage, he's going to run, or he's going to tie up loose ends. Mabry's hand moves to his belt, muscle memory reaching for a gun that's not there anymore. You think he'll come after the boy? I think he'll come after the dog, Lenoir says bluntly. Titan's the witness. Without him, it's just a video, and videos can be disputed. But a trained canine with a service record, that's harder to discredit. She looks at Trayvon. Where are you staying? Foster home, Trayvon says. His voice sounds far away. Maple Street. Lenoir and Mabry exchange a look. Mabry shakes his head. Too exposed. One guardian, 3 other kids, no security. If Vance shows up, he won't get past the door, Lenoir interrupts. I'm assigning a patrol unit to the house. 24-hour watch until we bring Vance in. Mabry doesn't look convinced. And if he doesn't come to the house, if he waits until the kid's on the street, at school, at the park? Lenoir's jaw tightens. She doesn't have an answer. Trayvon's chest feels tight. He looks down at Titan. The dog is staring at the exit, ears forward, body tense, like he already knows, like he's been here before, waiting for the bad thing to happen, knowing it's coming. I'm taking them home, Mabry says. My house, off the books. No one knows the address except my ex-wife, and she lives in Florida. Lenoir hesitates. Rod, you're a civilian. You don't have jurisdiction. If something happens, then something happens, Mabry cuts her off. But it won't be because I left a 10-year-old and a trauma dog sitting in a foster home waiting for a dirty cop to kick the door in. He looks at Trayvon. You okay with that, son? Trayvon nods. He doesn't trust his voice right now. Mabry holds out his hand. Trayvon takes it. The captain's grip is strong, calloused, steady. Come on, let's get you somewhere safe. They walk out through the precinct lobby. Heads turn. Whispers follow. A few cops nod at Mabry. Most just stare. Trayvon keeps his eyes forward, one hand on Titan's collar. The dog doesn't look at anyone, just walks beside Trayvon, matching his pace, close enough that their legs almost touch. Mabry's truck is parked in the back lot. An old Ford Ranger, red paint faded to pink, rust eating the wheel wells. He opens the passenger door. Trayvon climbs in. Titan jumps up after him, settling on the floor between Trayvon's feet. Mabry gets in the driver's side, starts the engine. It coughs twice before catching. They pull out of the lot. The city scrolls past the window. Streetlights flicker on as the sun dips below the skyline. Trayvon watches the buildings blur together, feeling the weight of the day settle into his bones. He's tired, so tired, but every time he closes his eyes, he sees Vance's face. The way he smiled when he pressed the shock collar button, the way he looked at Trayvon like he was nothing, like he didn't matter. "How long until they find him?" Trayvon asks quietly. Mabry's hands tighten on the wheel. "I don't know, son. Could be hours, could be days." "And if they don't?" Mabry glances at him. "Then we deal with it." They drive in silence for a while. Then Titan shifts, lifting his head, staring out the windshield. A low growl builds in his chest. Mabry's eyes flick to the rearview mirror. What's he looking at? Trayvon turns. There's a car behind them, dark sedan, headlights off even though it's almost dark. It's been there since they left the precinct. Mabry's jaw tightens. He takes a right. The sedan follows. He takes another right. The sedan follows again. "Hold on," Mabry mutters. He floors it. The truck lurches forward, engine screaming. Trayvon grabs the door handle. Titan braces against the seat. The sedan speeds up, closing the gap. Mabry cuts through a yellow light. The sedan runs the red. Horns blare, tires screech. Mabry yanks the wheel, cutting into an alley. The truck skids, fishtails, straightens out. The alley is narrow, barely wide enough for the Ranger. Dumpsters line the walls. The sedan follows, scraping the side mirror against the brick. Mabry's eyes are locked on the road. "Get down." Trayvon drops to the floor, arms around Titan. The dog doesn't fight, just curls against him, breathing fast. The truck bursts out of the alley onto a side street. Mabry hits the brakes, spins the wheel, and they're racing in the opposite direction. The sedan overshoots, tires smoking as it tries to turn. Mabry doesn't slow down. He takes 3 more turns, fast and random, until the sedan's headlights disappear. He pulls into a gas station, kills the engine, and sits there, hands shaking on the wheel. His breath comes out in short bursts. Trayvon climbs back onto the seat, heart hammering. "Was that Vance?" "I don't know," Mabry says, "but we're not taking chances." He pulls out his phone, dials Lenoir. She answers on the first ring. "We just got tailed. Black sedan, no plates visible. Lost them near 5th and Oak." He listens, nods. "Yeah, we're fine, but I'm not bringing the kid back to the precinct. Too many eyes." He hangs up, looks at Trayvon. "We're going dark. No phone calls, no stops. Just straight to my place. Understand?" Trayvon nods. Mabry starts the engine again. They pull back onto the road, and this time Mabry doesn't stop checking the mirrors. Not once. Not until they're 10 miles outside the city, on a gravel road that winds through farmland and empty fields. The house is small, tucked behind a line of trees, lights off. Mabry parks behind the garage, out of sight from the road. He gets out. Trayvon and Titan follow. Mabry unlocks the front door, ushers them inside, locks it behind them. Deadbolt. Chain. He pulls the curtains closed, checks every window, every door. Then he grabs a shotgun from the closet, loads it, and sets it by the couch. "You hungry?" he asks. Trayvon realizes he is. He hasn't eaten since the crackers. "Yeah." Mabry makes sandwiches, turkey and cheese, nothing fancy. They eat in silence, sitting at the kitchen table, Titan under it with a bowl of water, and some leftover chicken. Trayvon's hands stop shaking around the 3rd bite. Mabry watches him, then glances at Titan. "He's a good dog," Mabry says quietly. Trayvon nods. "Yeah, he is. You know he's been through hell, right? Seen things no animal should see, done things most people couldn't do, and he's still here, still standing." Mabry leans back in his chair. "That takes something most folks don't have." "What's that?" Trayvon asks. "Heart," Mabry says. He looks at Trayvon. "Same thing you got, kid. Walking into that auction with $2 and no backup, standing up to Vance, taking in a dog everyone said was broken." He shakes his head. "That's not bravery, that's heart." Trayvon doesn't know what to say, so he just nods. Mabry finishes his sandwich, stands, stretches. I'll take first watch. You and Titan get some sleep. Guest rooms down the hall. Door locks from the inside. Trevon carries his plate to the sink. Titan follows him down the hall. The guest room is small but clean. A bed with a quilt, a lamp on the nightstand. Trevon locks the door, kicks off his shoes, and climbs into bed. Titan jumps up beside him without being asked, settling against Trevon's side. The weight is warm, solid. Trevon closes his eyes. For the first time in hours, he feels safe. Almost. But just as he's drifting off, Titan's body goes rigid. A low growl rumbles in his chest. Trevon's eyes snap open. He listens. Footsteps outside, gravel crunching, slow, deliberate. Then a knock at the front door. Someone found them. Is it Vance or something worse? Tell me who you think it is, in the comments. Mabry's voice cuts through the house, low and sharp. Stay in the room, lock the door, don't come out. Trevon's heart slams against his ribs. Titan is off the bed in a flash, body low, hackles raised, staring at the locked door like he can see through it. Trevon slides off the mattress, feet hitting the cold floor, and he moves to the door. His hand hovers over the lock. He wants to open it, wants to know what's happening, but Mabry said, stay. Another knock. Louder this time. 3 sharp raps, then a voice. Captain Mabry, it's Detective Lenoir. Open up. Trevon exhales. Relief floods through him so fast his knees almost buckle. Titan's growl fades, but he doesn't relax. Trevon unlocks the door, cracks it open. The hallway is dark except for the light spilling from the living room. He can see Mabry standing by the front door, shotgun in one hand, peering through the peephole. He doesn't open it. Prove it, Mabry says. Are you serious? Lenoir's voice muffled through the door. Rod, it's me. Open the door. Prove it, Mabry repeats. Tell me something only you would know. A pause. Then Lenoir's voice again, sharper now. Your ex-wife's name is Glenda. She left you because you spent more time with your K9 unit than with her. You got shot in the left leg during a raid in 2008. You hate mushrooms, and you still owe me $20 from poker night 3 years ago. Another pause. Now open the damn door. Mabry lowers the shotgun. He unlocks the deadbolt, slides the chain, opens the door. Lenoir steps inside, shaking rain off her coat. She's not alone. Behind her is a younger cop, maybe late 20s, with a buzz cut and a nervous energy that makes Trevon's stomach tighten. The cop's hand rests on his holster. Lenoir glances around the room, sees Trevon and Titan in the hallway. You okay? Trevon nods. Yes, ma'am. Lenoir looks at Mabry. We found Vance's cruiser, abandoned off Route 9, keys still in the ignition. No sign of him. She pauses. But we found something else. Mabry's jaw tightens. What? Lenoir pulls out her phone, swipes to a photo, hands it to Mabry. His face goes pale. He looks at Trevon, then back at the photo. Get the kid out of here. No, Trevon says. His voice is steadier than he feels. What is it? Lenoir hesitates. Then she turns the phone toward him, Mato. The photo shows the inside of a car trunk. Duct tape, rope, a crowbar, and spray painted on the inside of the trunk lid in red letters, K9017. Trevon's blood turns to ice. Titan's growl returns, deeper this time, vibrating through the floor. Lenoir pockets the phone. He's planning something, and it's targeted. We need to move you, both of you, somewhere secure. Where? Mabry asks. The precinct's compromised. He's got friends there. You said it yourself. Safe house, Lenoir says, out of county. No one knows the location except me and my captain. Mabry shakes his head. If Vance found us here, he can find us anywhere. He's got access to databases, traffic cams, patrol routes. He looks at Titan, then at Trevon. We're not running. We're ending this. Lenoir stares at him. You want to use them as bait. I want to give Vance what he wants, Mabry says. He's after the dog, so we let him come, set a trap, and when he shows up, we take him down. That's insane, Lenoir snaps. We're talking about a child and a dog. If something goes wrong, something already went wrong, Mabry interrupts. Kaylin's dead, Vance is on the run, and this boy is the only thing standing between a murderer and his freedom. He looks at Trayvon. But it's not my call, it's his. All eyes turn to Trayvon. He stands there in the doorway, Titan pressed against his leg, and he feels the weight of it, the choice. Run and hide and hope Vance never finds them, or stand and fight and make sure he can't hurt anyone else. He thinks about Kaylin, a man he never met but who died because someone he trusted betrayed him. He thinks about Titan, chained and muzzled and sold for $1 because he knew too much. He thinks about his grandmother, who told him once that the hardest thing in the world is standing up when everyone else is sitting down. He looks at Mabry. What do you need me to do? Mabry's expression doesn't change, but something flickers in his eyes. Respect, maybe, or fear. You need to trust me, and you need to keep Titan calm. Can you do that? Trayvon nods. Yes, sir. Lenoir curses under her breath. She runs a hand through her hair, pacing. This is a bad idea. This is a really bad idea. You got a better one? Mabry asks. She doesn't answer, just pulls out her phone, makes a call. Captain, it's Lenoir. I need a tactical team. Off the books. No radio chatter. She listens. Because I'm about to do something really stupid, and I need backup. She hangs up, looks at Mabry. You've got 2 hours. That's how long it'll take to get a team out here. If Vance shows up before then, you're on your own. Understood, Mabry says. Lenoir looks at Trayvon one more time. Her face is tight, worried. Stay inside, stay quiet, and if things go south, you run. You don't think, you don't hesitate. You run, got it? Trayvon nods. Lenoir and the younger cop leave, the door shutting behind them with a heavy thud. Mabry locks it. Deadbolt. Chain. Then he walks to the windows, checking each one, pulling curtains tighter. He grabs the shotgun, checks the chamber, sets it on the coffee table. Then he sits on the couch, staring at the door. Trayvon sits next to him. Titan curls up at their feet, head on his paws, but his eyes are open, watching the door. They sit in silence. The clock on the wall ticks. Rain starts again, soft at first, then harder, drumming on the roof. Minutes stretch, an hour passes. Trayvon's eyelids get heavy. He fights it, but exhaustion wins. His head droops. He jerks awake. Mabry glances at him. You should sleep, Mabry says. I can't, Trayvon whispers. Yeah, Mabry says quietly. Me neither. Another hour. The rain stops. The house creaks. Somewhere outside, a branch scrapes against a window. Titan's ears twitch. He lifts his head, stares at the front door. Mabry sees it. He picks up the shotgun, standing slowly. Get behind the couch. Trayvon doesn't argue. He moves, pulling Titan with him. They crouch behind the couch, Trayvon's hand on Titan's collar. The dog is shaking, not from fear, from anticipation, like a loaded weapon waiting to fire. Mabry moves to the side of the door, back against the wall, shotgun raised. Silence, long, painful, then footsteps. On the porch, slow, deliberate. A shadow passes across the window. The doorknob turns. Locked. A pause. Then the sound of metal scraping metal. Someone's picking the lock. Mabry's finger moves to the trigger. The lock clicks. The deadbolt slides back. The door swings open. A figure steps inside, tall, broad, silhouetted against the porch light. Mabry levels the shotgun. Don't move. The figure freezes, hands go up, and then a voice. Familiar. Whoa, whoa, easy, Captain, it's me. The light hits his face. It's Darnell Pritchett, the mechanic from the auction, the man with the rotting teeth and the scar. He's soaked, rain dripping from his jacket, hands raised, eyes wide. I ain't here to fight, I swear. Mabry doesn't lower the gun. How'd you find this place? I followed the detective, Darnell says quickly. I ain't proud of it, but I did. Look, I need to talk to you. It's about Vance. Talk, Mabry says. The shotgun doesn't waver. Darnell glances at Trayvon, then at Titan. The dog is growling, teeth bared. Darnell swallows hard. Vance came to me last night, offered me $5,000 to take the dog, said he'd handle the rest. I told him no, I ain't messing with no cop business. He pauses, but he didn't take no for an answer. He said if I didn't help him, he'd make sure I got shut down. Inspections, raids, the whole nine. Darnell's voice shakes. So I said yes, but I ain't bringing him no dog. I came here to warn you. He's coming, tonight. Mabry's eyes narrow. Why should I believe you? Because I got kids, Darnell says. His voice cracks. 2 girls, and I ain't letting them grow up thinking their daddy helped kill a kid and a dog for money. He lowers his hands slowly. Vance is crazy. He's got nothing to lose, and he's got a plan. What plan? Mabry asks. Darnell looks at the floor. He's gonna burn this place down, with all of you in it. The trap just became a death sentence. How do they get out of this? Comment below. The smell hits first. Gasoline, sharp and chemical, cutting through the rain-soaked air like a blade. Mabry's head snaps toward the window. Titan bolts upright, ears flat, teeth bared. Trayvon's stomach drops. He's already here, Darnell whispers. Mabry moves fast. He grabs Trayvon by the shoulder, pulling him toward the back door. Move, now. They run. Trayvon's legs pump hard, Titan at his side, matching every step. Mabry leads them through the kitchen, past the table still cluttered with sandwich plates, toward the door that opens to the backyard. He twists the knob. Locked. He fumbles for the keys on his belt. His hands shake. The keys slip, clatter to the floor. Outside, footsteps crunch across gravel. Multiple sets. Voices low and urgent. One of them is Vance. Trayvon would know that voice anywhere. Spread out, cover the exits. I want that dog. Mabry drops to his knees, snatching the keys. He jams one into the lock. Wrong key. He tries another. The lock clicks. He yanks the door open. Cold air rushes in. Beyond the threshold is darkness, trees swaying in the wind, and 50 yards of open ground before the tree line. No cover, no protection. Go, Mabry hisses. Trayvon runs. His shoes hit wet grass, slipping, but he doesn't fall. Titan is ahead of him, moving like a shadow, low and fast. Darnell is behind them, breathing hard. Mabry brings up the rear, shotgun in both hands, moving backward, watching the house. Orange light flickers in the windows. Flames. The fire spreads fast, climbing the curtains, licking at the ceiling. A shout from the side of the house. There, east side. Gunfire. 3 shots. The sound cracks the night open. Trayvon ducks instinctively. A bullet zips past, close enough to hear the whistle. Mabry spins, raises the shotgun, fires. The blast is deafening. Someone screams. Mabry doesn't wait to see if he hit them. He grabs Trayvon's arm, dragging him forward. Keep moving. They hit the tree line. Branches claw at Trayvon's face. His lungs burn. Titan is still ahead, weaving between trunks, sure-footed, even in the dark. Trayvon follows the white tip of his tail, the only thing visible in the blackness. Behind them, more gunfire, shouts, the roar of flames consuming the house. Mabry stops at a fallen log, crouching behind it. He pulls Trayvon down beside him. Darnell collapses next to them, gasping. Titan presses against Trayvon's side, body coiled, ready. Mabry peers over the log. The house is fully engulfed now, flames shooting through the roof. Silhouettes move in the glow. 4, maybe 5. One of them is taller than the rest. Vance. They're not following, Darnell whispers. Why aren't they following? They don't need to, Mabry says grimly. They know we can't stay out here. No supplies, no backup, and it's 40 degrees. We freeze or we come back. Either way, they win. Trayvon's teeth chatter. He's soaked from the rain, and the cold is seeping into his bones. Titan is shivering too, pressed against him, sharing what little warmth they have. Mabry pulls out his phone. No signal. He curses under his breath. We need to move. Get to higher ground. Find a signal. Call Lenoir. They move deeper into the woods. The ground slopes upward, rocky and uneven. Trayvon's legs scream, his lungs feel like they're full of glass, but he doesn't stop. Can't stop. Titan stays close, glancing back every few steps like he's counting heads, making sure no one's left behind. 20 minutes later, they reach a ridge. Mabry checks his phone again. 1 bar. He dials. It rings. Once, twice. Then Lenoir's voice, sharp and alert. "Mabry." "We're blown," Mabry says, breathing hard. "Vance hit the house. Fire. Gunshots. We're on foot. Woods east of the property." "Are you hurt?" "No, but we can't hold out here. He's got men. Guns. We've got nothing." A pause. Then Lenoir's voice, tight with controlled fury. "Tactical team is 10 minutes out. Stay put. I'll vector them to your location." "We can't stay put," Mabry snaps. "He's hunting us." "Then keep moving, but stay on this call. I need your position." Mabry starts walking again, phone pressed to his ear. Trayvon follows, stumbling over roots he can't see. His hands are numb. His face feels like ice. Titan's breath comes out in white puffs. They walk for 5 minutes. 10. The ground levels out. Ahead, Trayvon sees a shape. A structure, old, abandoned, a hunting cabin maybe, or a ranger station. The windows are boarded up. The door hangs crooked on its hinges. Mabry stops. "There's a building, looks empty." "Don't go in," Lenoir says immediately. "It's a choke point. If they find you..." "If we stay out here, we freeze," Mabry interrupts. "We need shelter just until your team arrives." Silence. Then Lenoir sighs. "Fine, but barricade the door, and if they come, you fight like hell." Mabry hangs up. He approaches the cabin, shotgun raised. He nudges the door open with his boot. It creaks, swinging inward. Darkness inside. He steps in, sweeping the room, empty. Just a single room 20 feet by 20 with a fireplace full of ash and a stack of rotting firewood in the corner. No furniture, no supplies, but it's dry, and the walls will block the wind. Trayvon stumbles inside. His legs give out. He drops to the floor, back against the wall, and Titan collapses beside him. Darnell leans against the doorframe, chest heaving. Mabry drags a rusted metal shelf across the door, wedging it in place. It won't stop bullets, but it'll slow them down. He sits next to Trayvon. For a moment, no one speaks. They just breathe. The cold air burns Trayvon's throat. His hands won't stop shaking. Titan licks his face once, then rests his head on Trayvon's lap. The weight is warm, solid, real. "You okay, kid?" Mabry asks. Trayvon nods. He doesn't trust his voice. Mabry looks at Darnell. "Why'd you really come?" Darnell stares at the floor. "I told you I got kids." "That's not the whole truth." Darnell's jaw tightens. He's quiet for a long time. Then he speaks, voice low. "Vance killed my brother 5 years ago. Planted drugs on him during a traffic stop, said he resisted, shot him in the back, called it self-defense." His voice cracks. "I knew, everyone knew, but no one would say it, and I was too scared to do anything." He looks at Trayvon. "When I saw you at that auction, standing up to him with nothing but $1, I couldn't run again, not this time." The silence stretches. Outside, the wind howls. Then faint but growing louder, the sound of engines. Vehicles. Multiple. The beams of headlights sweep through the trees. Titan's ears perk up. He growls low and steady. Mabry moves to the window, peers through a gap in the boards. His face goes hard. "They found us." Vance has them surrounded. No backup, no way out. How do they survive this? Drop your thoughts below. The engines cut, doors slam, boots hit the ground, heavy and deliberate. Mabry counts the flashlights through the cracks in the boards. 6, maybe 7. They're spreading out, forming a perimeter around the cabin. Titan's growl deepens, vibrating through the floor. Trayvon's hand tightens on his collar. His heart hammers so loud he's sure they can hear it outside. A voice cuts through the night. Vance, amplified. He's using a bullhorn. "Captain Mabry, I know you're in there. Send out the dog and the boy, and I'll let you walk away. You've got 60 seconds. Mabry doesn't respond. He checks the shotgun. 2 shells left. He looks at Darnell. "You armed?" Darnell shakes his head. "I ain't a fighter, man. I fix cars." "Then stay low, and if they breach, you run." "Run where?" Darnell hisses. Mabry doesn't answer. He moves to the door, bracing the shelf with his shoulder. Trayvon stays against the wall, Titan pressed against his chest. The dog's body is rigid, every muscle locked. His eyes are fixed on the door. Trayvon can feel his heartbeat, fast and hard, matching his own. 45 seconds, Vance calls. Mabry glances at Trayvon. "You remember what Lenoir said, if things go south?" Trayvon nods. "Run." "That's right, there's a window in the back. Boards are loose. When I say go, you take Titan and you run. Don't look back. Don't stop. You get to the main road and you flag down the first car you see. Got it?" "What about you?" "I'll buy you time." "No," Trayvon says. His voice shakes, but he means it. "We stay together." "Kid, we stay together," Trayvon repeats. Louder this time. Mabry stares at him. For a moment, something shifts in his expression. Not pity, respect. He nods once. "All right. Together." 30 seconds. Footsteps approach the door, slow, confident. A flashlight beam cuts through the cracks, sweeping the room. Titan's growl turns into a snarl. Trayvon feels the tension coiling in the dog's body like a spring wound too tight. He leans close, whispers into Titan's ear. "Not yet. Wait." The dog's ears twitch. He doesn't stop snarling, but he doesn't lunge. Mabry raises the shotgun, barrel aimed at the door. His finger rests on the trigger. Sweat drips down his temple despite the cold. The flashlight beam stops on the shelf, blocking the door. A pause. Then laughter. Vance's voice, closer now. No bullhorn. Just him, standing right outside. "You really think that's gonna stop me, Rod?" Mabry says nothing. The door shudders. Someone's kicking it. Once, twice, the shelf scrapes backward an inch. Another kick. The hinges groan. Titan barks, sharp and vicious, and the kicking stops. Silence. Then Vance's voice again, quieter now, dangerous. "I'm gonna count to 3. Then I'm putting a bullet through that door, and if it hits the kid, that's on you." A pause. 1. Mabry's jaw clenches. His finger hovers over the trigger. Trayvon holds his breath. Titan's snarl is the only sound. 2. Trayvon closes his eyes. His hand moves to the tag hanging from Titan's collar. He grips it tight. Cold metal, solid, real. His grandmother's voice echoes in his head. "Stand up when everyone else sits down." He opens his eyes. 3. The gunshot is deafening. The door explodes inward, wood splintering, and the shelf crashes to the floor. Mabry fires. The shotgun blast lights up the room, and someone outside screams. But 3 more men rush through the opening, flashlights blinding, guns raised. Mabry swings the shotgun like a club, catching one in the jaw. The man drops. Another grabs Mabry from behind, wrestling him to the ground. Vance steps through the doorway. He's holding a pistol aimed at Mabry's head. His face is calm, too calm. "Stay down, old man." Titan doesn't wait for a command. He launches, a blur of fur and teeth, slamming into Vance's chest. The gun goes off. The bullet buries itself in the ceiling. Vance hits the floor hard, Titan on top of him, jaws clamping down on his arm. Vance screams. He tries to shake the dog off, but Titan doesn't let go. He's not biting to hurt. He's biting to hold, to control, the way he was trained. Trayvon scrambles to his feet. One of the men grabs him, yanking him backward. Trayvon twists, kicks, connects with the man's shin. The grip loosens. He breaks free, stumbling toward the back window. Darnell is already there, prying the boards loose with his bare hands. One comes free, then another. The window is small, barely big enough to fit through, but it's open. "Go," Darnell shouts. Trayvon looks back. Titan is still on Vance, growling, shaking his arm like a rag doll. Mabry is on the ground, 2 men holding him down. The third is aiming his gun at Titan. Trayvon's chest tightens. He can't leave them. Can't. Titan, he screams. Come! The dog's head snaps up. He releases Vance's arm, blood dripping from his muzzle, and he bolts toward Trayvon. The man with the gun fires. The bullet grazes Titan's shoulder. He yelps but doesn't stop. He reaches Trayvon, and Trayvon grabs his collar, pulling him toward the window. Darnell boosts him up. Trayvon squeezes through, splinters tearing at his jacket. He lands hard on the other side, rolling in the mud. Titan jumps through after him, landing beside him. Darnell climbs through next, but as he's halfway out, a hand grabs his ankle. He's yanked back, disappearing into the cabin. Trayvon hears him yell, then nothing. Mabry's voice, muffled and strained. Run, Trayvon, run! Trayvon runs. Titan is ahead of him, limping slightly, blood matting the fur on his shoulder, but he doesn't slow down. They crash through the underbrush, branches whipping at Trayvon's face. Behind them, shouts, flashlight beams cutting through the trees. Gunfire. 3 shots, 4, none of them hit. Trayvon's lungs are on fire. His legs feel like they're full of sand. But he doesn't stop. Can't stop. Titan glances back, slowing, waiting for him. Trayvon catches up, grabs his collar, and they run together, side by side. 2 broken things refusing to break, the trees thin. Ahead, Trayvon sees light, not flashlights, headlights, lots of them, red and blue strobing through the branches, sirens wailing, voices over radios. Titan barks, sharp and urgent. They burst out of the tree line onto a dirt road. A wall of police vehicles blocks the path. Tactical officers in body armor, rifles raised. And standing in the middle of them, phone to her ear, is Detective Lenoir. She sees them. Her eyes widen. She drops the phone, running toward them. Where's Mabry? Trayvon points back toward the cabin. They got him, Vance. His voice breaks. He's still in there. Lenoir's face hardens. She turns to the tactical team. Breach and extract. Rules of engagement. Vance is armed and dangerous. Everyone else is a witness. Move. The team moves like a machine. They flow into the woods, silent and fast. Lenoir crouches down in front of Trayvon. She checks him over, hands gentle but efficient. You hurt? He shakes his head. Titan is. They shot him. Lenoir looks at the dog. Blood drips from his shoulder, but he's standing, ears forward, watching the woods. She pulls out a radio. I need a medic. K9 unit down. Non-critical but needs immediate attention. A paramedic jogs over with a kit. He kneels beside Titan, speaking low and calm. Easy, boy. Let me see. Titan growls but doesn't move. Trayvon's hand stays on his collar. It's okay, Trayvon whispers. He's helping. The medic cleans the wound. It's a graze, shallow but bleeding. He wraps it in gauze, secures it with tape. He's gonna be sore, but he'll heal. Tough dog. Trayvon nods. His throat is too tight to speak. Lenoir's radio crackles, a voice distorted but clear. Suspects in custody. Civilian hostages secure. We've got Vance. Repeat, we've got Vance. Lenoir exhales. She looks at Trayvon. It's over. Trayvon's knees buckle. He drops to the ground, arms around Titan, and he finally lets himself cry. Not loud, not dramatic, just quiet, shaking sobs that empty him out. Titan leans into him, head resting on his shoulder, and they sit there in the mud and the cold, while the sirens wail and the world keeps spinning. 5 minutes later, Mabry emerges from the woods. He's limping, face bruised, but he's walking. Behind him, tactical officers escort 3 men in handcuffs, and at the back, hands cuffed behind him, head down, is Vance. He doesn't look at Trayvon, doesn't look at anyone. Lenoir steps in front of him, blocking his path. Sergeant Silas Vance, you're under arrest for the murder of Officer Kalen Dupree. Conspiracy to commit murder, arson, assault, and about 15 other charges I'm gonna enjoy stacking on you. She leans in close. You're done. Vance says nothing. They load him into the back of a cruiser. The door slams. The engine starts. And then he's gone. Mabry walks over to Trayvon and Titan. He drops to one knee, wincing. "You okay, son?" Trayvon nods. "Are you? I'll live." Mabry looks at Titan. The dog's tail wags, just once, slow and tired. Mabry reaches out, rests his hand on the dog's head. "You did good, boy, real good." He looks at Trayvon. "Both of you." Lenoir crouches beside them. "We're gonna need statements, but not tonight. Tonight, you rest." She stands, waving over a cruiser. "I'll get you somewhere safe. A real safe house this time. No more fires, no more running." They load into the cruiser. Trayvon sits in the back with Titan, Mabry in the front. As they pull away, Trayvon looks out the window. The cabin is burning now, flames visible through the trees, smoke rising into the night sky. He watches until it disappears. Then he closes his eyes and leans against Titan. The dog's breathing is steady, warm, real. For the first time in days, Trayvon feels like he can breathe. Vance is in cuffs. But is the nightmare really over? Find out in the final chapters. Comment what you think happens next. The courtroom is too quiet, not silent. There's the hum of the air conditioning, the rustle of papers, the creak of wooden benches, but it's the kind of quiet that presses down on you, that makes every sound feel too loud. Trayvon sits in the front row, hands folded in his lap, Titan lying at his feet. The dog's head rests on his paws, bandage still wrapped around his shoulder, but his eyes are open, alert, watching. Across the aisle, Sergeant Silas Vance sits at the defense table in an orange jumpsuit. His hands are cuffed in front of him. His face is blank. No emotion, no fear. Just a man who's decided he's already won. Trayvon stares at the back of his head and feels nothing. Not anger, not fear, just tired. So tired. The judge enters. Everyone stands. She's older, black, with silver hair and a face that's seen every kind of lie the world has to offer. Judge Marietta Keyes. She sits, adjusts her glasses, and scans the courtroom. "Be seated." The prosecutor stands. His name is Vincent Shaw, and he's built like a linebacker stuffed into a suit. He walks to the center of the room, holding a folder. "Your Honor, the state calls Trayvon Elijah Walker to the stand." Trayvon's stomach drops. He knew this was coming, but knowing and doing are two different things. Mabry, sitting beside him, squeezes his shoulder. "You got this, kid. Just tell the truth." Trayvon stands. His legs feel like water. He walks to the witness stand, climbs the 2 steps, sits. A bailiff approaches with a Bible. "Raise your right hand. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?" "I do," Trayvon says. His voice sounds small in the big room. Shaw approaches. He's not smiling, but his eyes are kind. "Trayvon, I'm going to ask you some questions about what happened on November 16th. Take your time. If you need a break, just let me know, okay?" Trayvon nods. Shaw pulls out a photo, slides it onto the screen. It's the impound lot. The rain, the sign that said, "Starting bid, $1." Titan chained to the bollard, muzzle tight, eyes wild. Trayvon's breath catches. "Is this the dog you purchased that day?" Shaw asks. "Yes, sir." "And what was his condition?" "He was hurt, starving, scared." Shaw nods. He pulls up another photo, Vance holding the shock collar remote, the crowd watching. "Who is this man?" "Sergeant Vance." "And what did Sergeant Vance do while you were at the auction?" Trayvon's hands clench. "He used the shock collar multiple times to make Titan look dangerous, to make people scared." "Did you feel scared?" "No," Trayvon says. Then he pauses. "Not of Titan, of him." He points at Vance. The courtroom goes silent. Vance's lawyer stands. "Objection, speculation." "Overruled," Judge Keyes says. "The witness is describing his own feelings. Continue." Shaw walks closer. "Trayvon, after you bid on the dog, what did Sergeant Vance say to you?" "He told me to leave, said I had 10 seconds or he'd arrest me. Then he raised his baton. He was gonna hit me." "And what happened next?" Trayvon looks at Titan. The dog's ears perk up like he knows they're talking about him. "Titan broke the chain. He got between me and Vance. He didn't bite. He just stood there, protecting me. Shaw lets that hang in the air. He switches to another photo, the video still from Kalen's helmet cam. The warehouse, the gunfire, Kalen on the ground. Have you seen this footage? Yes, sir. And what did it show you? That Vance let Officer Kalen die, on purpose. Vance's lawyer shoots up. Objection, Your Honor. This witness is a child with no forensic or tactical training. He cannot possibly... Sustained, Judge Keyes says, but her eyes linger on Trayvon. Rephrase, counselor. Shaw nods. Trayvon, what did you observe in the footage? I saw Vance block the door. I saw him not help. I saw him shock Titan when Titan tried to save Kalen, and I heard him say he'd bury Titan if anyone found out. The courtroom erupts, murmurs, gasps. The judge bangs her gavel. Order! Shaw waits for the noise to die down. No further questions, Your Honor. Vance's lawyer stands. Her name is Elaine Cortez, and she's sharp, cold. She walks to the stand, arms crossed. Trayvon, you're 10 years old, correct? Yes, ma'am. And you've been in foster care for how long? 2 years? 2 years. That's a difficult situation, isn't it? A lot of instability. Objection, Shaw says. Relevance. I'm establishing the witness's state of mind, Your Honor. I'll allow it, Judge Keyes says. But get to the point, counselor. Cortez looks at Trayvon. You've had a hard life. You've lost people, been moved around, and when you saw that dog chained and muzzled, you saw something you could save. Isn't that right? Trayvon's jaw tightens. I saw something that needed help. And you wanted to be a hero. No, I wanted him to be safe. Cortez smiles, but it's thin. Safe, but you didn't know anything about this dog. You didn't know his history, his training. For all you knew, he really was dangerous. He wasn't. But you didn't know that. You took a risk, a big one. And when things escalated, when my client reacted to what he perceived as a threat, you decided he was the bad guy. She leans in. Isn't it possible you misinterpreted what happened? That you wanted so badly for this dog to be innocent that you convinced yourself Sergeant Vance was guilty? Trayvon stares at her. His hands shake, but his voice doesn't. I didn't misinterpret anything. I saw him hurt Titan. I saw him try to hurt me, and I saw the video. He's guilty. Cortez's smile fades. She walks back to her table. No further questions. Shaw stands for redirect. Trayvon, did you ever doubt what you saw? No, sir. Not once? Not once. Shaw nods. Thank you, that's all. Trayvon steps down. His legs barely hold him. He walks back to his seat, and Titan stands, tail wagging slow and steady. Mabry pats his back. You did good, kid. The judge calls a recess. They file out into the hallway. Trayvon leans against the wall, eyes closed. Lenoir walks over, coffee in hand. How you holding up? I don't know, Trayvon says. You did great in there, better than most adults. Will it be enough? Lenoir doesn't answer right away. She looks through the courtroom doors at Vance, sitting stone-faced at his table. We've got the video, we've got your testimony, we've got Mabry and Darnell backing you up. It's enough. But her voice doesn't sound sure. Trayvon hears it, the doubt, the fear that sometimes, even when you do everything right, the bad guys still walk. He looks down at Titan. The dog looks back, amber eyes steady, trusting. And Trayvon decides right there that he's not going to let Vance walk, not after everything. They go back inside. The jury files in. 12 faces, some old, some young, all tired. Judge Keyes looks at the foreman. Has the jury reached a verdict? The foreman stands. He's a middle-aged black man in a flannel shirt. He holds a piece of paper. We have, Your Honor. What say you? The foreman clears his throat. In the case of the state versus Silas Vance, on the charge of murder in the first degree, we find the defendant guilty. The courtroom explodes. Vance's face goes pale. His lawyer grabs his arm, whispering urgently. The judge bangs her gavel. Order, order in the court. The foreman continues, on the charges of obstruction of justice, evidence tampering, arson, assault on a minor, and animal cruelty. We find the defendant guilty on all counts. Trayvon's chest tightens. He can't breathe, can't move. Titan leans against his leg and he feels the warmth, the weight, real. Judge Keyes looks at Vance. Sergeant Vance, you are remanded into custody pending sentencing. Bailiff, remove the defendant. 2 officers approach. Vance stands, head down. As they lead him past Trayvon's row, he stops, looks at Trayvon. For a moment, their eyes meet, and Vance says nothing, just stares. Then he's gone. The doors close behind him. The courtroom is silent. Mabry turns to Trayvon. It's over. Trayvon nods, but it doesn't feel over. It feels like the beginning of something. He looks at Titan. The dog's tail wags. Slow, steady. And Trayvon realizes something. They didn't just survive. They won. Justice has been served. But what happens to Trayvon and Titan now? The final chapter is next. Comment your predictions below. 6 months later, the park is loud with summer. Kids screaming on the swings, dogs barking, the smell of charcoal and hot dogs drifting from the grills. Trayvon sits on a bench under a maple tree, watching Titan run, not limping anymore, not scared, just running, full speed, ears back, tongue lolling, chasing a frisbee that Malik, the little boy from the foster home, just threw. Titan catches it midair, landing with a grace that makes the other dog owners stop and stare. Mabry sits beside Trayvon, sipping coffee from a thermos. He's not limping either. The bruises from the cabin are long gone, replaced by laugh lines and a tan from spending too much time outside with Trayvon and Titan. He's getting fast again, Mabry says. Trayvon nods. Yeah, he's happy. So are you. Trayvon looks at him. Mabry's right, he is happy. Not all the time. There are still nights when he wakes up sweating, remembering the fire, the gunshots, Vance's face. But those nights are getting fewer, and when they come, Titan is always there, warm, solid, real. Trayvon smiles. Yeah, I am. Claudine walks over, holding a juice box. She hands it to Trayvon. Don't stay out too long. Dinner's at 6. Yes, ma'am. She watches Titan for a moment, arms crossed. Her face is softer than it used to be, less tight, less tired. That dog's a miracle, you know. Yes, ma'am, I know. She ruffles Trayvon's hair and walks back to the picnic table where the other foster kids are eating sandwiches. Mabry chuckles. She's warming up to him. She likes him more than she lets on, Trayvon says. She bought him a new bed last week, said it was because the old one was falling apart, but it wasn't. Mabry laughs, a real laugh, the kind that shakes his shoulders. Yeah, she's a softie. Titan trots back, frisbee in his mouth, and drops it at Trayvon's feet. His tail wags so hard, his whole back end moves. Trayvon picks up the frisbee, throws it. Not far, just enough. Titan bolts after it. A woman walking her poodle stops, watching. That's a beautiful dog. What's his name? Titan, Trayvon says. He looks like a police dog. He was, Mabry says. Retired now. The woman smiles and walks on. Trayvon watches Titan run. He thinks about the auction, the chain, the shock collar, the way everyone looked at Titan like he was a monster. And he thinks about now, the way kids in the park ask to pet him, the way Titan sits patiently while toddlers pull his ears, the way he sleeps at the foot of Trayvon's bed every night, like he's guarding something precious. What are you thinking about? Mabry asks. Trayvon shrugs. Everything. That's a lot. Yeah. Mabry leans back, stretching his legs. You ever regret it, taking him home? No, Trayvon says immediately. Never. Even when it got hard? Especially then. Trayvon looks at Mabry. He saved me, not just at the auction, every day, just by being there. Mabry nods slowly. Yeah, I get that. They sit in comfortable silence. Titan brings the frisbee back. This time he doesn't drop it. He holds it in his mouth, staring at Trayvon, tail wagging. Trayvon laughs. "You want me to chase you?" Titan's ears perk up. He takes 3 steps back. Trayvon stands. "All right, let's go." He runs. Titan runs. They loop around the park, weaving between trees, jumping over benches. Kids laugh. Adults smile. And for a few minutes, nothing else matters. Not the trial, not Vance, not the scars they both carry. Just this, running, playing, being alive. Later, as the sun starts to set, they head back to the foster home. Trayvon's bike is parked by the fence. He walks it up the driveway, Titan trotting beside him. Mabry follows in his truck, parking on the street. He gets out, leans against the hood. "You good?" "Yeah, thanks for today." "Anytime, kid." Mabry pauses. "You know, I've been thinking." "About what?" "About you and Titan." Mabry crosses his arms. "I talked to Claudine and to my lawyer about fostering." Trayvon's heart skips. "Fostering?" "Yeah, you, if you want." Mabry looks uncomfortable, like he's not sure how to say this. "I know I'm not your grandma, and I know you've been through a lot, but I got space, and I got time, and I think you and Titan deserve a home that's yours. Permanent." Trayvon's throat tightens. He doesn't know what to say, doesn't trust himself to speak. Mabry shifts his weight. "You don't have to decide now. Think about it. Talk to Claudine, but the offer's there." Trayvon nods. His eyes burn. He blinks hard. "Okay." Mabry smiles. "Okay." He climbs back into the truck. "See you tomorrow?" "Yeah." The truck pulls away. Trayvon stands in the driveway, holding his bike, Titan sitting at his feet. The dog looks up at him, head tilted. Trayvon kneels down, wraps his arms around Titan's neck. "What do you think, boy? You want a real home?" Titan licks his face. Once, twice, 3 times. Trayvon laughs through the tears. "Yeah, me too." He stands, wipes his eyes, and walks inside. Claudine is in the kitchen washing dishes. She glances at him. "Are you okay?" "Yeah," Trayvon says. "Better than okay." She studies him for a moment, then nods. "Good. Go wash up. Dinner's almost ready." Trayvon heads upstairs. Titan follows. In his room, Trayvon sits on the bed. Titan jumps up beside him, settling against his side. Trayvon pulls out his phone, a hand-me-down from Mabry, and scrolls through the photos. There are dozens now. Titan at the park, Titan sleeping, Titan with Malik, Titan with Mabry, a whole life captured in pictures. He opens the camera, holds it up. Titan's ears perk up. Trayvon grins. "Say cheese." The flash goes off. Titan blinks. Trayvon looks at the photo. It's perfect. Both of them, together, happy. He sets the phone down, leans back, and closes his eyes. And for the first time in a long time, he doesn't think about what he lost. He thinks about what he found. A knock at the door, Claudine's voice. "Trayvon, dinner." "Coming." He gets up. Titan follows. They walk downstairs together, and as they sit at the table with the other kids, passing plates and laughing at Malik's jokes, Trayvon realizes something. This is home. Not perfect, not forever, but for now it's enough, and sometimes enough is everything. Their journey is just beginning. What do you think the future holds for Trayvon and Titan? Share your thoughts below. 1 year later, the auditorium is packed. Parents, teachers, students, the air smells like perfume and old carpet. Trayvon sits in the front row wearing a button-up shirt Claudine ironed that morning. His hands are sweating. He wipes them on his pants. Again. Beside him, Mabry adjusts his tie. "You nervous?" "Yeah," Trayvon admits. "Don't be. You earned this." On the stage, a podium. Behind it, a screen showing a slideshow. Photos of kids, smiling, holding trophies, certificates, awards. The principal, a tall woman with graying hair and a voice like honey, steps up to the microphone. "Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us for the annual Community Hero Awards. Tonight, we honor young people who've shown extraordinary courage, kindness, and leadership in our community. She goes through the names: a girl who started a food drive, a boy who saved his neighbor from a fire. Each one walks onto the stage, shakes hands, accepts their plaque. The crowd claps. Trayvon claps too, but his heart is racing because his name is next. And finally, the principal says, this year's Courage Award goes to a young man who, against all odds, stood up for what was right, who saved a life, who exposed corruption, who reminded us all that bravery doesn't come from size or age. It comes from the heart. Trayvon Elijah Walker. The crowd erupts. Trayvon's legs feel like jelly. Mabry squeezes his shoulder. Go on, kid. Trayvon stands. He walks to the stage, each step feeling like a mile. The lights are too bright. The faces in the crowd blur, but then he sees them. Claudine, standing in the back, holding Malik's hand. Lenoir, in her suit, arms crossed but smiling. Darnell, sitting near the exit, nodding. And at the very back, by the door, is Titan. Mabry snuck him in. He's sitting perfectly still, ears forward, watching Trayvon like he's the most important thing in the world. Trayvon reaches the stage. The principal hands him the plaque. It's heavy, engraved, his name in gold letters. She shakes his hand. The crowd claps louder. Someone whistles. Trayvon looks at the microphone. The principal leans in. Would you like to say a few words? Trayvon's throat is dry. He didn't prepare anything, but he steps up to the mic anyway, clears his throat. Hi. A few chuckles. He grips the plaque tighter. I didn't do anything special. I saw something wrong, and I couldn't walk away. He pauses, looks at Titan. The dog's tail wags. Slow, steady. Someone told me once that bravery isn't about being fearless. It's about being scared and doing the right thing anyway. I was scared every second, but I had help from Captain Mabry, Detective Lenoir, Darnell, Miss Claudine, and Titan. His voice cracks. Especially Titan. He taught me that loyalty isn't something you demand. It's something you earn, and that everyone deserves a second chance, even when the world says they don't. He looks at the crowd. So if you take anything from this, let it be that. Don't judge people or dogs by their worst moments. Judge them by what they do when it matters. He steps back. The crowd stands. Applause fills the auditorium, louder than before, longer. Trayvon walks off the stage, clutching the plaque, and he's shaking. But it's not fear, it's relief, it's pride, it's everything. Mabry meets him at the bottom of the steps, pulls him into a hug. I'm proud of you, son. Trayvon hugs him back, hard. Thanks, Dad. Mabry freezes. Then he squeezes tighter. Yeah, me too. After the ceremony, they walk outside. The night air is cool, stars visible despite the city lights. Titan runs over, tail wagging so hard it's a blur. Trayvon kneels down, hugging him. Did you see? We won. Titan licks his face. Mabry laughs. He saw. Claudine walks over, Malik bouncing beside her. That was a good speech, Trayvon. Thanks, Miss Claudine. She looks at Mabry. You taking him home tonight? If that's all right with you. She nods. It's more than all right. He's yours now, officially. She pulls out an envelope, hands it to Mabry. Signed this afternoon, adoption papers. Mabry's eyes widen. He looks at Trayvon. You okay with this? Trayvon doesn't hesitate. Yeah, more than okay. Mabry opens the envelope, reads the papers. His hands shake. He folds them carefully, slips them back in, and looks at Claudine. Thank you. Don't thank me, thank him. She ruffles Trayvon's hair. He's a good kid. Take care of him. I will. They say their goodbyes. Mabry, Trayvon, and Titan walk to the truck. They drive home. Mabry's house, but Trayvon's home now too. The porch light is on. Inside, Mabry's already cleared out the guest room, painted it blue, added a desk, a bookshelf, a bed big enough for a boy and a dog. Trayvon stands in the doorway, staring. It's yours, Mabry says, for as long as you want it. Trayvon walks in, sets the plaque on the desk, sits on the bed. Titan jumps up beside him. Mabry leans against the doorframe. You hungry? Always. Mabry grins. Good, I'll make spaghetti. You like spaghetti? Yeah. All right, come down when you're ready. He leaves. Trayvon sits there staring at the walls, the clean sheets, the books already on the shelf. This is real. This is his. He lies back, Titan curling against his side. The dog's breathing is steady, warm, real. Trayvon closes his eyes, and he sleeps. No nightmares, no fear, just peace. 6 months after that, Mabry and Trayvon are in the backyard. Titan is running laps, chasing a ball. Mabry's grilling burgers. Lenoir is there, sitting in a lawn chair, laughing at something Trayvon said. Darnell is there too, showing Trayvon how to fix a bike chain. It's loud, chaotic, full of life. And Trayvon realizes something. He used to think family was something you were born into, something you couldn't choose. But he was wrong. Family is the people who show up, who stay, who fight for you when you can't fight for yourself. Family is a retired cop who opened his home, a detective who believed a 10-year-old's story, a mechanic who risked everything to do the right thing, a foster mom who let a scared kid keep a broken dog, and a dog who refused to give up. Trayvon looks at Titan. The dog looks back, amber eyes steady, trusting, and Trayvon knows they saved each other, and they'll keep saving each other every single day for the rest of their lives, because that's what family does. This is the end of Trayvon and Titan's story, but it's just the beginning of their life together. If this story touched you, if it reminded you that everyone deserves a second chance, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. We've got more stories like this. Stories that inspire, that challenge, that remind us what it means to be human. Drop a comment below. Tell us what this story meant to you. Share it with someone who needs to hear it, because stories like this, they change lives, just like Trayvon and Titan changed each other's. Thanks for watching. And remember, bravery isn't about being fearless. It's about standing up when everyone else sits down. See you in the next one.